Hi, boys and girls. Today I'm going to read you the best story ever. The author of this story is Eileen Spinelli, and the illustrations are by Ann Wilsdorf. This is the best story ever because it comes from the heart. I want you to think about that when you're listening. The best story ever. Let's look at the front cover first. What do you see on there? A cat, a pirate, a cowboy, I don't know what else, and a little girl who's thinking. Let's read to find out what happens in the best story ever. The Red Brick Library was having a contest. Write the best story, win the first prize. First prize was a ride on the Super Duper Looper roller coaster, that is, with my favorite author, Anne Miles, who wrote The Runaway Roller Coaster. Wow, first prizes don't get any better than that. I ran home. I went to my room, shut the door. I sharpened 5 pencils, opened my notebook to a brand new page and thought, and thought, and thought, and thought. And all I could think was this writing stuff was hard and lonely. Maybe I needed help. I told my brother Tim about the contest. There's Tim. The best stories, said my brother Tim, have lots of action. What's action, I wonder? Things happening in the story. So, I wrote a lot of action into my story. I wrote about a bus hurtling down the highway with no one at the wheel. I added a tornado and a pirate and a great white shark. But the story didn't seem quite right. There's lots of stuff going on in that story, huh? So I asked my dad, and he said, the best stories have plenty of humor. So I changed the great white shark to a monkey, and I put the monkey at the wheel of the bus, and I turned the tornado into turnips, and I dressed the pirate in polka-dotted pajamas. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Here's the picture. Dad laughed so hard he popped a shirt button. He laughed so hard a button popped right off of his shirt. Even so, this story didn't feel quite right either. Along came Aunt Jane. What are you doing? She asked. Well, I'm writing a story, the best story, for a contest at the library. I can win a roller coaster ride with my favorite author. Oh, well then, said Aunt Jane. Here's all you need to know. The best stories are the ones that make people cry. I had never heard that before, had you? So I gave the bus a flat tire. I sent the monkey to the funeral of his pet goldfish. I turned turnips into onions, and I made the pirate chop every one. There were lots of tears, but the story wasn't quite right. Look at all that crazy stuff happening in her story. My teenage cousin Annika said, I have news for you. If it's not romantic, it's a loser. Uh-oh. He thinks there should be some romance in this story. So, the pirate introduced the monkey to his sister Grace, and they fell in love. And I turned the onions into wedding invitations, and everyone lived happily ever after. Do you think her story was quite right yet? Finally, my story was ready, so I read it to my family. Oh, did you want to see that picture? There she is, reading it to her family. Not enough action, said my brother Tim. Maybe the monkey can fall into the wedding cake, said Dad. That would be really funny. It's hard to cry at a wedding when the groom is a monkey, said Aunt Jane. Annika said it would be perfect if I added a kiss. In all this time, my mother hadn't said a word, so I asked her, "What do you think of my story?" She is reading it. They'll have suggestions. She gave me a hug and said, "I think the best story is one that comes from the heart, your own heart." That night after supper, I looked into my own heart and rewrote my story. No more monkey, no more pirate, no more wedding invitations, and no more happily ever after. I wonder what she found in her heart to write about. My new best story is about my family and my two best friends, Tara and Josh. It's about my cat, Ollie, who sleeps on his back, and snow days. And toast with strawberry jam. It's about fireworks and rainbows and bike rides. All of the things she likes. That's what's easiest to write about, is things that you love. My biggest problem was keeping the story short. Once I started pulling things out of my heart, it was hard to stop. When my story was finished, I turned it into the judges. There she goes. Maybe I'll win that roller coaster ride with Ann Miles, and maybe I won't. Either way, I'll be happy. I'll be a winner, because the story I wrote is my own, not somebody else's, and that makes it the best. The best story ever. Now, today, you don't have to write the best story ever quite yet. I just want you to think about what would be in the best story you could write. And it's things that you know about and you like. So, I want you to take a piece of your writing paper. I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit so you can see. Turn this around. I want you to find the next page in your writing. Make sure you're using both sides. So if you have a blank side, you can start right here. And I want you to draw some pictures of all the things that you love. I'm going to remind you of how to do it by drawing a big heart. You don't have to do this on your page if you don't want to. But I want to see a little picture on this page of all the things that you love. Oh, my heart was a little too big for my page. So if this was my heart story, I might draw a picture of my dog Lucy because I love Lucy. I might draw Mr. Addington and my son Grant and Avery. I might draw a cup of coffee because I love coffee. I might draw some paints or some flowers because those are all the things I love. I want you to draw all the things that you love on your next blank page in your writing. Okay, Tigers, can't wait to see it.